A sun to which nothing gravitates. A poem needed in the hands of a fly, a volcano in an anthill. Everything that is released accumulates nowhere. A sick civilization prepared it to carry resentment in all other civilizations. This small, thick pseudo-sun towards which nothing gravitates. Like all those daily outings, the winter isn't ending. The news reports that snow will fall in the second week of July and that penguins will organize a competition in bringing of hens. There is something natural in a poem. It struggled in the match last season. There is something natural in a poem because it can't speak to ants and because no hatred is addressed to it. That is why this thing is being written towards which nothing gravitates. This is why basketball is played. Sarajevo #2. I dreamed that Sarajevo didn't want me, but then when it let me in, as if through an automatic car wash, fentanyl-covered, rollers touching me and lights in front of me, I followed them. Then it turned out that Sarajevo didn't want me. The city drove me away from the banks of the Miljacka into the hills, onto streets from which new streets unfurled, onto new hills that I will never reach. I was driven out by the rising water, flooding the valley, water in which others could breathe. I ascended the spiral streets and looked at how the light shone through the water and how they scornfully shone on the hill above the opposite bank of the Miljacka. And then I saw that I wasn't alone. They galloped up with clutched bristled bouquets, ascending the hills, climbing to the edges of garbage cans, melancholy eyes like the crowd of which you are a part, a crowd of individuals. They accompanied me and they didn't. That's just what they do, citizens on errands in the city, they, the stray dogs of Sarajevo. The moon above the Arctic, picked smeared with painted targets like lipsticks around the lips of a bleary creature or a clown. I'm looking for my spirals, something to be woven. An Arctic base pulled down into the ice, foundations forming roots in the solidified water, sparrows hatching between two ice floes carefully so there is minimal breakage of the shells. Something is always crackling here, crumbling the icebreakers with clouds above them. And I don't care. Some pulverized flesh crawls from the membrane of my ear, something pulverized, completely artificial, but because of that no less fleshy flesh, which is not mine or anybody else's. I'm looking for my spirals, vectorial shavings behind the commas of the ears, sweat without salt, the expectations of people as if across mirrors in scribbled or smeared lipstick. Who will say what? Here sounds can no longer be sorted even by murmurs. Basifying, becoming pale, some pure school for astronauts, some moon created according to archaic measurements with no appropriation, no flannel wrinkles of local legends. We wait for evening when 1,000 drill presses will awaken. The moon slides a couple of centimeters above the Arctic. A humble stomach. Roots spreading out like fingers across the sky, which very slowly and gracefully descends on the brimming mountain lungs, breathing like oceans at night time. The spreading sound of trumpets, nothing said, and a lack of nostalgia for meaning. The borders of all lands sleep like the actually existent borders between human and animal cells, and no one needs to deny or celebrate them. What are you ashamed of? Of not having enough knowledge to be a vehement lover of so-called humanity, or of having too much knowledge to be silent? These aren't the categories that could have any influence, while the spreading tips of the branches dig into ashes, unreachable antenna harpoons being released into empty space, while the sky very slowly and gracefully descends on the brimming mountain lungs, as a celebration takes place in this city, which nobody can hear and which nobody can locate on any map. Holy war. The noise of the birds, all of the soil is a shattered mirror. There is no screen in the sky anymore. The elder is growing from the hand veins. There is the water running from the tube. There is no grease, no subject. Don't go over the non-existent borders. Browse the soil, expose yourself in some other distant way. Don't be an antenna, rather be a stone which breathes. March, non-month, a beautiful calendar is like a beautiful smell. News, blues, the old buttons under piano language. Everything under, everything unreachable incorporated into your pace. And something else, a lot of else, noisy and clear. There is no subject. The pain is drooly. Celan of the years, porcelain of the mother. The stupidity of cities on the borders of the memory pressures. Holy war. Thanks.